It wasn't the words themselves that shattered Prince Harry, it was the way they were delivered, calm, cold, final. When King Charles looked his son in the eye and said, "I owe you nothing, son, in this life or after," it wasn't just a personal rejection, it was a declaration to the world that the monarchy had drawn the line. No more chances, no more forgiveness, and no more pretending that Harry was still part of the inner circle. Harry didn't return to the UK expecting applause, but he definitely expected a door to crack open. Maybe a hug, maybe a meeting behind palace walls, maybe even some kind of quiet deal. He thought the family would welcome him back, if not with open arms, at least with polite smiles and some royal resources. Instead, he got an iron gate slammed in his face. For years, Harry played the role of the misunderstood prince, the one who broke free from the royal machine to find his truth. But in doing so, he also burned the bridges behind him, and now he's trying to walk back across ashes like they'll still hold his weight. Charles isn't buying it. The king's patience has snapped, not with a scream, but with that sentence. "I owe you nothing." That's not something a father says lightly, that's something a king says when he's done. Those words stripped Harry of every ounce of entitlement, every assumption that being born a Windsor meant the family would always have his back. And here's the truth, this wasn't Charles being emotional, this was strategic. The royal family doesn't operate on feelings, it operates on image, tradition, and survival. Charles knows that bending for Harry now would make the crown look weak, and the monarchy cannot survive weakness. So he went the other way. He made it brutally clear that the crown doesn't serve personal pity projects, especially not ones that cashed in on palace secrets. Insiders say Harry came not just for a chat, but for support, security, access, money, and maybe even a chance to stand beside the family during upcoming events. But all he got was silence first and then that sentence. Because for Charles, this is about loyalty. And in his eyes, Harry traded loyalty for camera time. Let's not forget, this is the same Harry who went on global television, dropped memoirs like grenades, and let the public into the royal family's most private wounds. He called them out, blamed them, shamed them, and now he's shocked when the gates stay locked. The UK public isn't surprised. They've already made up their minds. Harry used to be their favorite, the fun-loving rebel, the war veteran with a big heart, but now he's the man who keeps airing dirty laundry and expecting sympathy. On this trip, people didn't just ignore him, they reportedly closed their doors. That's not public fatigue, that's public rejection. And the tragedy is Harry still seems confused by it, like he can't quite accept that his choices have led him here. You can't walk out on the crown, torch the family name, and then come back when things get hard, expecting royal privileges to still be waiting. But this isn't just about Harry's fall, it's about who stands tall because of it. Because while Harry is walking in circles, begging for a seat at the table, someone else is already sitting in the throne's shadow, quietly, dutifully, powerfully. Prince William, the son Charles, does owe everything to. And that contrast is where the story sharpens. Prince William didn't need to speak loudly to be heard. While the world watched Harry's every dramatic move, William played the long game. Quiet, composed, relentless. He didn't run to cameras, he didn't write a memoir, he didn't sell family drama for headlines, he simply stayed. And that simple decision to stand by the monarchy when everything else felt like it was collapsing is why the crown sees him as its future. Charles isn't blind. He's a man who waited his entire life to sit on the throne. He knows better than anyone the weight of loyalty, the cost of patience, and the value of a steady hand. When he looks at his two sons, he sees two legacies, one built on sacrifice, the other on spectacle. William's loyalty wasn't loud, but it was consistent. When Diana died, William shielded his younger brother from the chaos. When their father married Camilla, William gritted his teeth and accepted it for the sake of peace. When scandals threatened the royal image, William didn't add fuel. He swallowed his emotions and kept the public's trust alive with quiet dignity. That's why Charles owes him everything, and not just emotionally, strategically. William has become the monarchy's anchor, the reason Britain still believes in the crown. When Charles faced health scares, it was William who stepped up, holding court with the public, attending state duties, and showing the nation that the future was secure. He didn't make a scene. He made a statement without saying a word. Look at the numbers. Polls across the UK tell the story clearly. William and Catherine are adored. They're the face of a monarchy that people still respect. In contrast, Harry and Meghan's popularity has dropped like a stone. Once hailed as modern royalty, they're now seen as outsiders, celebrities playing royalty from a distance. The British public isn't stupid. They see through the show. They value the one who stayed, not the one who walked away. That's why Charles is doubling down on William. Behind palace doors, sources say he leans on him more than ever. William isn't just waiting for the throne. He's already shaping how the monarchy moves. His voice carries weight in decisions. His image anchors public faith. And then there's Catherine. She isn't just a pretty face for magazine covers. She's the symbol of grace, stability, and tradition. Together, William and Catherine represent everything the crown needs to survive in the modern world. They balance the old with the new. They give people a reason to care, to hope, to believe the monarchy still means something. Harry and Meghan tried to rival that from across the ocean. They had every tool: Hollywood connections, global attention, media deals, but what they lacked was the one thing William held on to: duty. The daily grind of royal life, the silent sacrifices, the uncomfortable moments handled behind closed doors. That's the difference. One brother embraced it, the other rejected it, and now Charles sees the results. One son stands tall with the nation behind him. The other stands alone, looking for a way back into a family he treated like a storyline. The contrast couldn't be clearer. One is the legacy, the other is the warning. William never had to beg for respect. He earned it, not with headlines, but with history. That's what makes him priceless to the crown. That's why in Charles's eyes, William isn't just his heir, he's his redemption. The reason the monarchy still breathes. The reason the future still has a heartbeat. Harry wanted both worlds. The freedom to tear down the palace walls and the privilege to walk back through them whenever he pleased. But that door no longer exists. It's not just closed. It's gone. Burned down by his own choices. Now he's standing in the cold, watching a kingdom that no longer waits for him. Every move he makes feels reactive. Another podcast, another interview, another attempt to reclaim relevance. But the more he speaks, the more distant he becomes from the image of a prince. The public doesn't see royalty anymore. They see a man who aired his family's pain like entertainment and now expects that pain to buy him sympathy. King Charles's words weren't just personal, they were institutional. "I owe you nothing, son." That wasn't about a fight between father and child. That was the king declaring where the royal legacy begins and ends. And it ends with William, because loyalty has a weight, and Harry dropped it a long time ago. The royal family isn't just about tradition, it's about endurance. Weathering storms, scandals, criticism. William did that. Harry ran. He took the first exit to California hand in hand with Meghan, selling the idea of escape while still clinging to the status that came with the crown. But you can't wear a title and trash it at the same time. Eventually, one has to go. And in Harry's case, it already has. The future belongs to the ones who stayed. Charles knows this. He's placing his bets not on sentiment, but on survival. William is the safest hand the monarchy has ever known. Composed, steady, respected globally. While Harry tried to conquer the spotlight, William earned the people's trust. And trust is the only thing keeping the monarchy alive in a world ready to question everything. William's rise hasn't been flashy. It's been disciplined, strategic, built on years of staying the course while his brother threw bombs from across the ocean. And with Catherine by his side, the royal image feels unshakable. Together, they are what the crown needs to survive the 21st century. Relatable, elegant, and immune to the chaos Harry and Meghan seem to bring everywhere they go. Insiders say Charles sees William not just as an heir, but as his protector, the son who didn't just inherit duty, but embraced it. When public support wavered, it was William and Catherine who restored faith. When Charles faced backlash or illness, it was William who stepped in. Not with theatrics, but with responsibility. That's why Charles owes him everything, and that's why Harry's chapter is ending with silence, not ceremony. There's no more room for negotiation. The institution has made its decision. Every royal engagement, every press release, every whisper from the palace confirms it. William is the monarchy's heartbeat. Harry is its cautionary tale. What hurts Harry most isn't the rejection, it's the irrelevance. That slow realization that the headlines no longer change anything, that the sympathy he once received has faded, that the name Prince Harry doesn't open the same doors anymore. Not in London, and not in Hollywood either. So what's next for him? Another memoir? A docuseries maybe? But whatever it is, it won't restore what's been lost. Because once a king draws a line, the crown never erases it. The sentence, "I owe you nothing," isn't just a final word, it's a legacy shift. William will wear the crown not just because he's the eldest, but because he's earned it through silence, service, and strength. And Harry, he will watch from afar, always hearing those 6 words echo louder than anything else.